Hey everybody, I'm Mike from Electric City Sentai DenziCaster, and this week we kick off our all-new series DenziNow with the first 4 episodes of Kamen Rider Build. Well, folks, it is a brand new show here on the ECS network. Now this one, DenziNow, is not going to be a weekly show, at least not yet. Probably not ever. This is going to be a monthly installment for the time being, as I take a look, Denzi Blitz style, at the current tokusatsu shows, the ones that are airing right now. Now, we're kicking things off with looking at Kamen Rider Build, and every 4 episodes, so more or less once a month, I'll be back to talk about 4 episodes of the show. Now, just so you guys know, I'm not going to be covering Q Ranger this way, but when the 2018 Super Sentai series begins, we're going to kick it off too. And so at that point, you'll see 2 episodes of this every month. So hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. They've already trademarked the names for the new show that's going to be coming out for Super Sentai. It's well, we don't know if it's going to be Pato Ranger or if it's going to be a Lupin Ranger, but they trademarked both names, so we're thinking cops and robbers right now, which could be really, really cool because Super Sentai does a pretty good job with cops. But right now, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Kamen Rider Build. 4 episodes are in the bag. Today we're looking at that one with the best match, The Innocent Runaway, Borderline of Justice, and The Testimony Will Be Zero. Now, very much in the style of Denzi Blitz. I'm not going to go through each episode in any great detail, though this episode will be a little bit longer because I'm going to have to go through and kind of explain what the series is and set it up. So Kamen Rider Build is the newest, the 2017-18 installment of the Kamen Rider series, following up from Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. Like the majority of Kamen Rider shows in the Heisei era, this one is not a direct sequel to any of its predecessors. It's totally new. So a little bit of its own world, starting with Kamen Rider, really you could probably say decade. There for a little while, the Kamen Rider shows all occupied the same world, certainly from probably Double to Wizard. You could very much argue that the Riders all inhabited one cohesive world together. But as of late, they've gone back to the original Heisei idea of every year, new world, new Rider. So this particular world is actually, to me, very, very interesting. So in this Kamen Rider world, some 10 years ago, Japan successfully sends a manned probe to Mars. Now, this all takes place, I would presume, in the not-too-distant future. So they send a manned probe to Mars, and they find this mysterious object that they call the Pandora's Box. When they bring the Pandora Box back, essentially, it splinters Japan. Japan gets split into 3 separate regions, which are realistically set up as 3 separate countries. So Japan is now splintered into Hokuto in the north, Seito in the west, and Toto in the east. And Toto is where our show is set. And you wind up with this wall called the Sky Wall that literally segments Japan into these geographical areas, or rather these political areas, turning it into very real borders. Our hero is this mysterious young man named Sento Kiryu, um, and essentially he is a physicist who is an amnesiac. He is experimented on by some secret organization, um, and manages to escape. Uh, he is basically trying to figure out the secret of Pandora's box, and he fights off these strange organisms called the Smash, who are terrorizing humanity. He does this through what are called full bottles. So basically, they're bottles that harness the abilities of something, whether it is a living organism or some um, inorganic machine or element. Um, and by mixing these in the build driver, he creates his different forms and form changes. In those regards, it reminds me a whole lot of Kamen Rider Double, where Double had the Gaia memories, and each memory would give his armor a half set of new abilities, so he could retain one half of his abilities and yet change the other half at will. Very much what happens here. Um, so the first episode is basically just setting up the premise. Um, we know that Toto is in possession of the Pandora box. Um, they have an institute, a scientific institute, that is there to basically try to figure out the box. Um, but during all of this initial episode, during the initial setup, a journalist gets attacked, and here comes our physicist hero to the rescue. Um, and he is simply nicknamed by the people Kamen Rider, the masked rider, because he has a mask and rides a bike. So there you go. So the first episode, we get to see Build's base form, which his base form is a rabbit and a tank. And the driver, basically calls out best match when those two bottles are inserted. And we find out that not every combination of bottles is as strong as others. I suppose a way to think of this would be the color combinations in Kamen Rider O's, where each set of coins, if they were all matching colors and matching animal types, then it was a stronger form. Double had something very similar with the three primary forms of Cyclone Joker, Luna Trigger, and Heat Metal. So something along those lines. And you can mix and match them, but certain forms are stronger than others. The second episode revolves around the mysterious runaway, who is essentially, it's a character named Ryuga Banjo, who we're introduced to in the first episode. He is accused of murder, presumably one he didn't commit. He was jailed for it. He gets busted out of jail, doesn't know why, and the Kamen Rider basically saves him. And as a result, becomes a wanted fugitive because he has aided and abetted a convicted murderer. Although Ryuga vehemently states he didn't do it. So now the question is, can they prove he was framed before they get caught? And like our hero, like Kiryu, he has been experimented on. And he got out somehow before the experimentation took hold. Borderline of Justice introduces a new form as well. We actually get a new form in Innocent Runaway, for the record. We get the debut of the Gorilla Diamond form, which Gorillamond is the way it is fashioned in the show. Um, we get a little bit of mixing and matching of the bottles, and then we get to see the Dragon full bottle, even though he doesn't use it. The Dragon full bottle comes from Ryuga's fiance, who presumably set him up at the urging of someone else who said that they could reinstate his career. Ryuga was a prize fighter. He was an MMA fighter who got banned for taking a dive. Borderline of Justice, we get a new best match, which is the Hawk Gatling. We're introduced to a new weapon. We get to see the Rocket and Light full bottles. Borderline of Justice, we find out that Ryuga's framed murder case is due in part to a man named Nabashima, which we found out the last episode is the person that urged them to go and his wife to set him up, or his fiance to set him up, rather. So we're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. It's largely investigating this false murder case. And this is the ongoing plot, essentially, from episode 1 through episode 4 and presumably farther. And we wind up in episode 4, the testimony will be zero. Nabashima has been transformed not once but twice now, back-to-back episodes, into a smash. And brought back from that, we get a new full bottle, the Ninja full bottle. And we wind up seeing someone with essentially a cobra crest on his chest. Now, we've previously seen one with a bat. We presume it's the same character, but it says here this also features the first full appearance of Bloodstalk. Bloodstalk being essentially the Cobra character. The one with the bat, is Night Rogue. For the record, these villainous characters very much resemble riders. So the vibe I kind of get is that these are evil riders as opposed to Monster of the Week kind of characters. But he's set up as one of the main villains of Build. So, yeah, so far, just general impressions. What do I like? I like the design work. The Build costume, when I first saw it, I was slightly skeptical, but it didn't bounce me out. I like the look of the costume a great deal. It does really work for me. I will, of course, have the figure art on my shelf eventually. You'll see it in the backgrounds when it comes out. So I really dig that. I really enjoyed the acting. Period. Dot. Full stop. I like the actors. I like Ryuga. I like Kiryu. I like the folks that are kind of in Toto. I like Faust, which we find out in episode 3 is the actual name of the evil organization. There's a reporter character who is the same reporter saved in episode 1. She figures out who Kamen Rider is, finds his secret base, and says, well, if I can get exclusives on Kamen Rider's adventures, then I won't tell the world who you are. So she's blackmailed herself into being Lois Lane. There's a lot of interesting characters and a lot of interesting developments. Now, because this show is ongoing, I'm not going to spoil too much. What I've given you so far are essentially episode synopses. So I'm not going to delve into too many of the secrets of the show, especially the latest episode, which is episode 4, as this goes up, as I'm recording. So I'm really digging the look. I really like the actors. The music is a little hit or miss for me. The incidental music in the show doesn't bother me. I don't know that I'm a big fan of the theme song. The effects are for Toei CG. They're actually pretty good. I haven't seen any CG yet that just makes me go. So I enjoyed that. And realistically, the high point of this right now is the story. Up to the over the last several years, Kamen Rider has had, and you can probably Ghost is probably the one that kind of starts this for me. My favorite Kamen Rider of the Heisei era has been Double, and Double had a rather serious storyline. The comedy came from the characters and the situations, not the designs or anything like that. It had a fairly serious design, fairly serious aesthetic. I liked the look, I liked the feel of it. O's pretty much followed up on that. Fourze, little over the top, but it's a high school setting. You forgive that a little bit. Costume's ridiculous, but the storyline makes up for it. Wizard flips the script. The costumes are awesome, and the storyline bottomed it out. Ghost, the costume to me was a little off-putting, and then, and I'm skipping Drive for the record, but it was a little off-putting. And what I've watched of episodes, I haven't been able to get into. I haven't completed that one yet. Drive, I did like. Again, the costumes were a little ridiculous, but the characters and all that make up for it. X-Aid, everything looks over the top. This brings that back down. So it looks like Kamen Rider, it feels like Kamen Rider. The costumes are still a little ridiculous in places. But the story is the thing to me in this show. The story so far is very, very good. We're not getting the traditional two-parters that Kamen Rider has been known for now for years and years and years. You really didn't have them in X8 either, to be fair. And I haven't watched enough Ghost to be able to tell you. But it's not that. It is a serialized story that's going from episode to episode, and I like that. And the first story is essentially a murder mystery where we're trying to get an innocent man off. So, of a false murder charge. So I dig it. I really am enjoying the story. If I have a criticism at the moment, it would be that some of the effects for some of the forms are a little much. The transformation effect is a little much. I'm hoping they streamline the transformation effect as we go forward. They've done it a little bit here and there where they've streamlined it for scenes. I don't think we need the whole... Oh, it's almost like a model kit sprue on each side that smashes together. Yeah, you see what they did there. Smashes together to form Build. Don't know that you need that. But... beyond that, and like the Hawk Gatling gun where the bullets turn into CG birds, CG energy hawks, I don't think you necessarily need that. But overall, I'm actually very much digging the show. Let me know what you guys think. In 4 weeks, we'll be back to talk about some more. Let us know what you think in the comments below, or over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/DenziCaster. If you like the video and you want to see us do more DenziNow, give us a thumbs up. That certainly helps. This series of DenziNow will continue as long as you guys want it to continue. So let's get some thumbs up, and I'll see you in 4 weeks with more of Kamen Rider Build to talk about. If you like the video, you want to see more stuff like this, whether it's Denzi Blitz, DenziCaster, DenziNow, or any of the other shows here on the ECS Network, Rage Quit Radio, 8-Star Anime, and soon to be 8-Star Anime Binge, which will be their version of Denzi Blitz, or anything like that. Chopsaki Cinema is going to be coming back in the coming weeks. Let us know. We greatly appreciate it. Of course, you can help us out if you want to help us out here on the ECS network. We need lighting, cameras, various equipment. We all have day jobs. You can go to cafepress.com/ECS network, pick yourself up a cool t-shirt, such as the one I'm wearing. This is our Big G style t-shirt, as in Godzilla. This is the green on green model, although it does come in different colors. The shirt itself, the footprint's going to be green regardless. So go grab yourself one of those, or any of our other great t-shirts over there. All the proceeds go to the channel. They don't line anybody's pockets, and we would appreciate the help. So folks, until next time in 4 weeks when we have more of Kamen Rider Build, I'm Mike. Thanks for watching DenziNow. We'll see you later.